This episode of the Stickers and Scuffs podcast has been brought to you by Remax Jack. Jack provides a friendly, customer-driven service in search for homes and provides excellent details on the market, values, and trends in buying and selling. Jack has been able to work with Cam on his search and always makes himself available when he has a question. Remax Jack will help you if you're looking to buy or sell a home within the GTA. He's who Cam K trusts to find his next home, and he should be yours too. Remember, call Remax Jack and start to pack. For more information, go to remaxjack.ca.
Hi, this is Mario Andretti, and you're tuned into Cam, Graydon, and the team as Stickers and Scuffs podcast. They're true Canadian racing fans.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Stickers and Scuffs. Cam is behind the scenes this week, so you're not going to see him, but it's GB here with BMO Brent Otchere and our special guest, DJ Christie. We're going off the asphalt this week and into the dirt, so I don't know, we call it stickers and lugs, lugs and wings, I don't know. What do you think, Brent?
I would say just stickers and mud.
Yeah, nice. Welcome in, DJ. It's good to have you on, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's an honor to be on your show with you guys, and I'm a fan of the show, and I watch the odd episode here and there when I can.
That's awesome. We appreciate that a lot. Let's jump right in, man. You're not a terribly old fella, but talk about kind of your career to date and what's got you to where you are today.
Yeah, I'm a 21-year-old kid currently in school, and I've grown up around racing my whole life. Ever since I've been, here, I've been going to the racetrack. I'm sure I was at the racetrack before I was even one. And my grandfather started racing, and then it turned into my dad racing, and now here I am, and 21 years old. I started when I was 6, so you do the math on that. I've been racing more than I haven't.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. Yeah, and just a quick shout out for Jay Christie, former Ontario Sportsman Series driver, right?
Yeah, he was. He did pretty good back in the day, beating doors with the Roblys and all those guys.
Nice. Brent.
Yeah. All right. So I know you from Ohsweken Speedway because I work there every Friday night. And I actually met you. You might not remember, like 2 years ago, you were at Motorama.
At the car show, yeah.
Yes, and you're at the front doors and got your autograph. So that was pretty cool. That was before I was part of this team or anything. That was kind of my introduction into sprint cars because I wasn't working at Ohsweken at the time. So I just wanted to say, from your niceness to me, that's kind of what got me into sprint cars. And that's very important. That's a very good marketing tool that you have there, is that you're very personable. That you can talk to people, and sometimes race drivers don't have that quality. So I really admire that you can talk to people and you can get your sport out there. So it was really awesome.
Yeah, I try to treat everyone the way I want to be treated. And I heard a line somewhere today that I think it was from Travis Pastrana, actually. I was watching a video with him, and he said race car drivers aren't race car drivers anymore. They're more of a salesman, and they have to get people into the sport to keep it around, or else if they don't, they're not going to have a future.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at your stats from last year, and you were racing in the Cool Kids Core Pack 360 sprints at the Ohsweken, and you finished 10th out of 42 drivers. So congratulations. That's not a small feat. That's really good because I know the drivers that race there. They're very talented, very competitive, and you ended up with two top fives and five top tens. So very good.
Yeah, it was an all right year for us. From the year before, we were expecting a little more because we had two wins. But hey, when there's so many cars at Ohsweken every night, it's just important to be in the top 10, and even just to make the race some nights because there's people coming from the States and there's no slouches. There's probably 20 cars that can win a race every single night. So just to
Yeah.
make the gain is important and just to keep points going. Just
Yeah,
you got to be in it.
you made 12. Yeah, you made 12 features last year, so that's very good. Because
We had some troubles in a few races. I'll take ownership on one. I forgot to put the transponder on in qualifying, so that put us in the for the one night.
yeah,
Yeah, and like
So,
I said,
talk about your dad's posted some pictures of you like racing stuff as a kid and everything. What was like the path to the sprint cars?
well, my first race car was a little dirt go-kart, just a little, they call them like micro sprints or like outlaw karts now. And I did that for 2 years on the dirt, and then I actually switched to asphalt and did that for a few years. Yeah.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, we went to Graydon Speedway after Chesterman's, and then we actually made the switch back to the dirt and raced at Ohsweken and won a championship there, along with a few others along the way. And then it was kind of, we didn't know where to go, just because when you're making that jump from go-karts into anything, really, there's like junior late models, but we've been doing the go-kart thing so long, it's not really a step of where would be the next step, I should say. So we went into super stocks actually, and we did all right, but it wasn't, I was still young. I was 13 when we first started that. I drove one when I was 12 for the first time, and
wow.
I was pretty young to be handling a full-size stock car, right? So I didn't do this best as good as I wanted to, but we were 2 years into that, and Dad and I were sitting in the shop, and he was probably having a few bush lights, and we got to talking and ended up with a sprint car in the garage. Yeah.
Nice. So, what bring you back to the dirt cars? Because you were asphalt for a bit. So, do you want to go back to the dirt?
Well, Dad had only ever raced asphalt, and I had raced dirt, and we went to the Sprint Car Nationals a few years in a row, and we honestly just got hooked. We thought we needed to do this, and at the time, there was a car pop up on Facebook, and the first car we saw, we bought. And honestly, you guys aren't gonna like this, but we just had a lot more fun racing the dirt. Just the people were good, and there was no politics. It was just everyone helps each other out, and it was just a lot more fun for us and a lot better for the average racer, I felt.
Yeah, there's no judgment here, as we like to say here. Racing it's for everybody, no matter what, and it's not for everyone to cut down everybody else's preference to what they like watching. But I mean, man, having gone to see Ohsweken last year for the first time ever, and watching, like you said, we're asphalt guys, as it sort of suggests in our title. But I mean, watching sprint cars, it's such a high speed choreographed. Like, I mean, it's not choreographed, but it looks like it almost. I mean, the way everybody's all stepped out and the way you make positions, it's like a dance that isn't scripted. I mean, it's the opposite of choreography, but it's just chaos. But it's so cool to watch. So I mean, I could well imagine that it's fun, and it must have been, I don't know, it's a good thing maybe that you were young when you got into it. I can't imagine picking up that discipline. Like, I think I'd be scared shitless jumping in one of those cars, honestly. Like, they just look so friggin' powerful and crazy. Like, for everyone that doesn't know, DJ and I were teammates for one race. Half my starts were on dirt. I've had 2 starts. So DJ cleaned up in the Great Lakes Legends invitational event that we partook in, and we both drove the quick little 30 car, and it was awesome. How did that stack up to a sprint car? Like, you seem to adapt to it pretty well.
Honestly, on dirt, it's more about the harder you drive it sometimes, the faster you're going to go. Where I've no on asphalt, where the harder you drive it, sometimes it's the slower you go.
Yeah.
And even on the dirt in the legend car, in the heat race, I wasn't driving it hard enough. You have to drive it with the gas pedal on dirt. If you don't, you're not going to go anywhere. So I kind of saw that because I was watching videos in between the races, and I just saw I wasn't driving hard enough. And then in the feature, I think I started fourth or something.
Yeah.
And you just foot to the floor. And after Drayton came up to me and said, "Oh, how are you able to get the car sideways?" And I said, "Honestly, man, you just have to gas it up and get the car sideways. You're not driving with the steering wheel, you're driving with your feet."
Right. That's what everybody was telling me too. And I just couldn't, it's so hard for, well, my skill level to get my head around, but like, man, that's something else.
Yeah.
I was going to say with asphalt racing, right? When you're doing stock cars, we're not, you got spotters. The sprint cars, there are no spotters. You're just, with your own element, you got the scoreboard there, and, shows number 5 for you, and then 68, like, you're like, okay, so 68 is about maybe 2 seconds away from me. Like, how do you keep that process in mind? And, clicking down the laps, you're like, okay, I got the lead, but I'm also going through traffic. There's a lot of stuff to juggle, and you're only doing laps about maybe 10 to 15 seconds, right? So, like, how do you process all that information?
Well, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. So at Ohsweken, when you're leading, you can watch the scoreboard because it shuts off after every lap's complete. And then as soon as you cross the line, it blinks. You're like number 5. And then the next time it blinks is the distance between the next car behind you. So if you're out front and there's a big gap in between when the next number comes on, you know you're doing something right. But if there's a short little time in between, you got to get up on the gas and wheel that thing.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I hope I didn't spoil anything for myself, or hopefully they don't change anything. But that's how I judge what's going on.
Everyone's like, take notes.
Yeah.
Oh man. So you have run asphalt. You said you did that in your younger days. Is there ever like if there was somebody that said, "Hey DJ, come and have a whirl at this," would you give it a shot?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I would love to see how I would do in a stock car now that I've grown up and got a little bit wiser with my few years of experience, just to go back, because it's kind of, well, it's not going to sound silly anymore because so many people have done it, but even on iRacing, I do that with my buddies all the time, and I've learned so much, even with the sprint car. When I did slick, I learned so much how to drive with my brakes and my gas at the same time, and just use what I have to my abilities to further my knowledge in racing.
It's funny that you mentioned iRacing because myself, I am I don't have enough money to buy a race car, so I do a lot of sim racing. I got sort of course iRacing, stuff like that, and I find that the old school drivers, they kind of just shift away the iRacing. Well, the new younger generation is bringing in iRacing because seat time is seat time. The difference is also you don't have the inertia of a real car, but the tracks are laser scanned, and so you get the rhythm of it. The track goes from the lanes change and everything like that. So my question is for you then: how, I know iRacing isn't 1-to-1, but how close is it? Because like Formula 1 is completely different, but Max Verstappen says that when he does iRacing or of course it's a completely different feel for him until he jumps into Monaco. So yeah, how's that for you?
Well, for me, it's not really the inertia, like you said, that I'm supposed to be learning on. It's more so my throttle input and my braking, just like trail braking and just steering input. Like the straighter you are in a race car, the faster you're going to be. It doesn't matter if it's on asphalt or dirt. But it's funny because my dad absolutely hates iRacing. He cannot make a lap on there to save his life. And then my girlfriend gets on there who's never raced a car in her life, and she makes laps. It's easy. So there's still the video game aspect of it, but I find it helpful. And there's so many other guys out there that find it helpful. I raced against one guy, and he had iRaced for years and just decided to buy a sprint car one day, and he's awesome. Like, he's one of the top guys. So
Mhm.
take that as you want, but I think it helps.
Yeah, and it was also good too because with whole COVID, the racing season was kind of a drought, right? So what did the racers go to? iRacing, and it was great to see that even like the old guys who don't want to do iRacing, they gave it a shot and gave it a first shake. So it was awesome to see that.
But yeah, well, there's some guys that spend stupid money on iRacing, and I have about $700 into my iRacing rig. Like, I have a $150 steering wheel that I just screwed to my screwed to my desk, and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you have. Like, I can not. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I can drive around some people on iRacing that have spent thousands of dollars on sim rigs and like the VR stuff. That stuff's insane, but you just
Mhm.
yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. So my other question is because, like I said, Ohsweken's my home track. Literally live like 19 minutes away from it. Um, Merrittville and Southern Ontario, the other tracks that you race at, how do they compare? Like, do you have the same mindset going to those tracks, or do you have to prepare differently, knowing that there's a bump here or there's a wreck here or stuff like that?
So what makes dirt racing so cool in my mind is no track is ever going to be the same. The surface is going to change every 15 minutes. That's why, for one aspect, why it's so much cheaper than asphalt racing is because you can't go test on a dirt track. You're just going to show up to the racetrack, and after one heat race, it's going to be completely different than your hot lap session. So, like, going to a shorter track like Merrittville or Humberstone, you have to set up completely different. And, well, I have a little notebook now after a few years, and I do have different shock packages and sprint packages when I go to those tracks, and of course gear because they're smaller. But personally, I like going to the bigger tracks like Southern Ontario and Ohsweken where you can let it rip a little bit more. You're not just tiptoeing around the racetrack. When you got 700
Mhm.
horsepower under the hood, you want to use it, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Your dad, when we were at Ohsweken for NASCAR week last year, had a peek around your hauler, and he showed me around and everything. What does it was cool to see the inner workings of the family team and everything. What does your 2023 look like, TJ?
So we're going to be doing most of the Ohsweken, well, all the Ohsweken stuff, and then some of the SOS stuff now. There's just, honestly, sprint car racing in Ontario has gotten so big that we cannot physically do all the races with one motor, and we do not have the budget to go buy another motor right now because in Ontario, we're running out of parts. There's so many sprint car racers now that you pretty much have to go stateside to get stuff if you want a used motor. Like, not very many people can afford to go buy a brand new motor. And other than the SOS stuff, I think we're going to try and go stateside a few times to run with the Empire Super Sprints. There's a little track, well, not little, there's a track called Ransomville just over the border in Niagara Falls, and you have to go there once in your life because it is cool, and it's closer than Merrittville and Humberstone for us. It is right over the border, and it's awesome.
That's kind of neat.
So with the SOS now combining with the Pinty Knights of Thunder, sorry, you get no more swords anymore. I remember you had this really cool sword that you win. So what are you gonna keep that like on a wall because it's gonna be a collectible now?
Yeah, we got two of those. Fortunately, they're in the race shops right beside the race car, and the rest of the trophies in there. But yeah, I'm sure they're gonna come up with some cool trophy this year. Peter Turford's doing an awesome job with the SOS, and I think he's going the right direction because he's a racer. His whole family that's all they do, and they're really supporting us this year. Like, they just raised the purse again today, which they've already done once this year. But people just keep feeding the money, and that's rare in racing, right? I don't know what's going on, but for some reason, racing in Ontario is popping off lately.
That's exactly where I was just going to go with that. It doesn't matter whether you're an asphalt person or a dirt fan. It just seems like it's such a good time to be in racing at a fan capacity, competitor capacity, whatever. It's popping. It, like, you feel the preseason energy this year, I feel like, is something I don't recall feeling. I don't know if it's like that in your world, but it just, there seems like everybody's just really amped up to get going this year. Maybe it's because winter won't just won't die. I don't know. That's how it is up here anyways. It's snowing and raining too much.
Well, even with what you said there, Graydon, with Motorama this year, massive success. Like people everywhere. I know you were off getting some sun, but Cam and I were amazed at how many fans there were. It was just crazy, and people are getting excited for this racing season. So it's really great to see that Ontario is getting that big boom. I also think I call it the Drive to Survive effect. I think a lot of people watched that on Netflix and then started looking at maybe local tracks that were nearby and visit a local track, because it's not that much money to buy a ticket. Right? It's good family fun. You guys put on a great show. Sometimes you get to sometimes the fans get to go up to the drivers. You guys are always so nice to them, giving out candy and plaque cards. So it's great to see that. My question is though, I don't know if I want to dig in too deep, but I know you're saying stock car, and I know you're saying dirt, and Pinty's happens to race on dirt at Ohsweken, which you race at. What's the possibilities of you strapping into a NASCAR Pinty's car?
I mean, there's nothing in the works right now, but I mean, I'm always looking. I'm a race car driver. It's in my blood, right? And if I can race, I'm going to try to race. And it's going to be interesting to see how that Pinty's race goes this year. I think it's a Fresh Stone Pinty's Dirt Classic week. Starters, that weekend is just going to be insane because you have Ohsweken Friday, and there's something going on Saturday, I think, or Sunday. There's a dirt bike race, I think, on the track, and then Monday, Tuesday, and then Monday, Tuesday is of course the Pinty's and the sprint car few days, and then there's an off day, and then at Delaware there's a concert going on, and then I think it's the Great Canadian Weekend already, which that's just going to be a bumping weekend if you're a race fan. Get your camping trailer out and go from one track right to the next.
5 days of racing there. Like, oh my God, that's crazy. Awesome. DJ, we always like to give our guests time to thank the people and recognize the ones that get them to the track every week and every season. Shout out everybody that helps you out, man.
Well, honestly, I've been sponsor hunting like I've never have this year to help pay for our motor, because we're trying to build the most badass motor we can.
Nice.
And oh yeah, she's going to be pretty wild. But first of all, I have to thank the Power Garage. They stepped up this year to come on board. It's my dad's new work. So if you're in the hunt for a new anything power sports, hit up them. And Castro Edge, of course, and Athlon Insurance, and Blund's Tires Racing, Zabian's Menswear, Magdalene and Hagen's Hardscape, and I have a lot here. Sorry. Advantage Powder Coating and Tavonage Tirecraft, Dr. Ed Hoban, Quick again this year, ADS, I don't know if I said that already, Impeccable Pools and Silverthorn Enterprises, and Leach's Engines, Transportation Repair, and John Antel. I told you I had a lot. But
yeah, good that you have people supporting you.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't ever apologize for shouting out your partners on here, man, because that's everything, man. We understand that. That's what gets you guys. Like you said, you got to build a big ass motor and then get it to the track every week and run it.
Oh, yeah.
And all the wear and tear. It all involves. It takes a family, and that's what the pursuit of partnership is about. Being able to attract those kind of partners that want to be your racing family and have your back through the whole season and hopefully beyond. Right.
Well, yeah. Even just one rate retire for us now is $500, and we can burn that off in a night. So so if we're going to the racetrack for Red Lord Friday night, we're already, by the time we're said and done and include our motor bill at the end of the year, we're probably $2,000 a night just to go racing on a Red Lord Friday night.
Man.
So, yeah, well, another funny story I have for you is the most sponsors. I did the most awkward thing I've ever done sponsor related this year. Is I just went out and knocked on every single business's door in Woodstock and Ingersoll, and they shoot you down a lot of the time, and there's a lot of awkward conversations, but I got one sponsor out of it, and it was worth it.
Yeah,
that's absolutely it. We're going to wrap this up here, but I mean, that's the thing. If you want it bad enough, you're going to get out and do those kind of things, and the success rate is not 100%. It's not 50%. It might not even be 25 or 10, But if you get that one that just believes in what you're doing, it's somebody that you can connect with, and that's great to see, man. And I'm glad that you said that. So closing comments, BMO.
GJ, I hope your season goes well. I'm looking forward to see you race every Friday. So I'll be there. And keep doing what you're doing, man. You're nice. You talk to people. You got sponsors. What else can you ask for?
Yeah, if you guys are ever at Ohsweken or any dirt track around and we're there, I'll come say hi. Come stop by the trailer, and even after, come have a quick beer with us. And well, yeah, there you go.
You heard it here, everybody. We can't thank DJ Christie enough for joining us tonight. Brent, thank you for joining us. Everybody, like, share, watch, enjoy. Get out and enjoy. Get to the track. Exactly. Dirt track, asphalt, doesn't matter. DJ, thanks again, man.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Be sure to share this all over and hope to get you lots of views.
Perfect. Take care.
All right. Have a good one. We'll see you next week, everybody.